I'm Colonel Louis Zocchi. And another thing most people who are making games don't know is the worst thing you can do is put it into a tube, because a tube doesn't show much of what it is and it rolls off the shelf. So most store owners don't want tubes, and there are very few games in tubes, but the bottom line is putting games in tubes is a double barrier, because the person who's the distributor and has got to ship that tube along with the other square box items always has to look for a carton that's much longer than the other cartons he has, because the tube protrudes. People don't understand, when you're going to go get a box to be made to hold your game, and you're talking to the box maker, find out what size box it is that he makes most often. Because if you could use that size box, what you could say to him is, I'll bring you the wrapper for the top and the bottom. The next time this big customer orders a run of those, make 100 or 1,000 copies for me. And that way you don't have to pay the setup charge, because the guy who's bought the longer run is going to pay for that. There was one of the most successful people in the game business had every 100th copy of his game printed on yellow paper. So at the end of the run, when the year ended, all he had to do was count how many yellow bottom boxes did he have left, because that was a quick way to tally how many he had sold. And I think that was a very good idea. There is a problem with stock numbers, and the first thing everybody needs to know is you need a 5-digit stock number. And the Hobby Industry Association will provide a 3-letter identifier for your company name that precedes the stock number. So the reason they're doing this is because people who make kites, and people who make trains, and people who make model cars, and everything else you see in a hobby shop all use similar stock numbers. And you've got to have that 3-letter identifier to tell your company's stuff from everybody else's. And the next thing is, nobody assigns your game a stock number. You'll make it up yourself. So let me share with you a thought. If you're publishing your first game, why not make its stock number be 00100? Okay? Now everything that goes into game number 100 has a number that leads up to 100. So that would be like the map board might be part 00001. And the rule book could be part number 0002. And the little bag that holds the die cut counters or the money or the pawns could be part 00003. And that way, if you have friends that are going to help you, they know that everything below the number 100 goes into the 100 box. And when you do your second game, you're going to use 00200, and everything numbered 201, 202, 203, etc., and so forth, helps you identify the parts necessary to make a complete game. If you're going to make a game in a box and you look at a Monopoly box, you need to know that if you stack 15,000 Monopoly-sized boxes in a 2-car garage, it will fill it from floor to ceiling, front to back, with no room to walk inside. And another thing is, you don't want to take boxes and stack them against anything like concrete floor or a brick wall. If you put these boxes on a concrete floor, they will soak up the moisture, and develop mildew. And if you get mildew on your stock, you can cure it by putting foot powder on the mildew and then wipe it off, and it will kill the mildew. If you stack your boxes up against a brick wall, that's the same problem is going to happen. It will soak, it'll grab the moisture out of the bricks and begin to mildew. So you need to put your games on pallets so that there's air underneath and air on each side of the boxes.